Welcome to Reinventing the Arena, the podcast that guides you through the powerful journey of aligning, embodying, and rising into your most authentic self. We dive deep into the transformative power of doing the inner work because the most important relationship you have is the one with yourself. When you align with your authentic self, you naturally attract the relationships and experiences meant for you. I'm your host, Molly Conley, a coach who's passionate about helping you uncover who you truly are using human design, NLP, and self-empowerment tools. Here we explore the art of aligning with your authentic self, embodying your highest potential, and rising above old patterns to create a life that resonates with who you truly are. Whether you're seeking deeper fulfillment in love or your personal journey, this space is designed to inspire your evolution. Together, we'll explore self-discovery, share transformational stories, and uncover the energetic shifts needed to create the love and life you truly desire. This isn't just about change. It's about fully stepping into who you were meant to be. So lady, align, embody, and rise. Welcome to your journey of self-transformation. Welcome to Reinventing the Arena. Why, hello there, lady. Welcome back to the podcast. Today is the second episode for the embodiment series. If today is your first day listening to the podcast and you're new to human design, I highly recommend going back to the first episode of 2025. And I think that is number 123, and listen through those before starting the embodiment series. This way you have more context about human design, the outer layers of it, I like to call them, before diving into the nuances and patterns that I'm going to be sharing around my personal story of experimenting and embodying my design. If you would like, pull out your chart, as I'm going to be referencing a few different areas again today as I share my story. So I used to think I had to get everything right. My voice, my ideas, my timing, how I express myself. But as a 3-5 profile type in human design, I am literally designed to learn through trial and error and to be seen by others in a way that I can't control. So today I want to talk about what a profile actually is, what the 3-5 profile type is all about, and how much conditioning I have carried and I still do, especially around being misunderstood. The profile type is really the costume or the clothing that you wear in life. It's the role you came here to play. And it's often one of the pieces people resonate with the most or resist the most. So you didn't choose your profile, and you actually cannot even hide it. In my opinion, and in my current experience, it is the color that overlays your entire chart. And when you fight your profile, nothing feels right. You feel out of sync, you feel blocked, you feel like you can't figure out why life feels difficult or heavier than it should. Profiles represent your personality pattern, how you learn, how you move through life, and how others respond to you. Now, there are 12 profiles in human design, and it's a combination of two numbers, 1 through 6. If you have your chart out, look at the two columns on your right and left side. On the right side, that is your personality. And on the left side, that is your design. You'll see the symbol that represents the sun. It's the very first symbol. There's a number with a decimal. That first number is a gate, your sun gate for your personality side on your right side, and then your sun gate for your design side on the left. The decimal on your sun personality gate is the first number in your profile. And then the decimal on your sun design gate is the second number in your profile. So the first number, which would be on that personality side, is your conscious, your inner self that you may see, but others may not see because it's really your inner self. The second number is considered your unconsciousness, your design. This is how other people see you and how you may not see yourself right away. I'm going to list off the main theme of each line, but I am not going to go into the combination, which would be the profile types, because honestly, that would be a whole nother podcast. And for some people, it's actually better if we would just get a reading to discuss that profile type, if you would like, in depth, because that will show us how the two lines are coloring your chart separately and then embodying the profile type as one and how that colors your chart from there. So line 1 is known as the investigator or the researcher. Line 2 is known as the hermit or also the natural. Line 3 is the martyr or scientist. Line 4 is the opportunist or people person. Line 5 is the heretic or the liberator. Line 6 is the role model or the wise sage. Now, if you have a 3 or 5 in your profile type, some of what I'm going to share today will help you familiarize yourself with your profile type. But know when I talk about 3-5 as a whole, this is unique to the 3-5 profile type. Just like if I was to do something for a 2-5 or a 6-2, that profile type is going to be unique to itself versus just the line 6 and line 3 or whatnot. Because I'm going to also layer in more of my personal experience and how that is still influenced by other areas of my chart. Let's start with line 3, and I like to call it the scientist. As a third line, trial and error, A/B testing is who we are at our core. Not only are we curious individuals, but we have to get shit wrong. We bump into life and life bumps into us. We are here to learn from our experiences and understand that there is no such thing as failure, only discovery. And from these experiences, we gain wisdom that is critical for our own development and for those around us. We are also designed to be brave, as we can tell right away when something isn't working, and we are usually the first people to pivot when living in alignment with our designs. We are also the ones who will stand up and say, that's not true, because of our own experiences, and then we'll take the heat from others for standing up for ourselves, or even just, for people like us. Sometimes I like to think of this as, I can smell the bullshit from a mile away sort of reader or sixth sense. Third lines also need a lot of space and freedom. This will help you gain insight about what you want and need in life and in love, honestly. Now, I will say, as a third line, you will notice when a relationship isn't working well, and it's completely normal for a third line to fall in and out of relationships, whether that's love, friendships, and sometimes family. And when the bullshit reader goes off, depending on a variety of areas of your chart, you can also cut that relationship off real quick. And I'm going to be honest, cutting it off quick will more than likely, depending on your chart, be very true for you. Eventually, as a third line, we do feel this pressure to solve other people's problems as if they're our own. And depending on different things in your chart, that may be correct or incorrect for you. But what is correct for a third line is sharing our experiences. This is why I'm here right now, sharing all about my embodiment experiments in this series. Now, I didn't always see myself this way. Instead, I saw myself as always being wrong. Others would see what I was doing and say I was either failing at it or doing it wrong, when I was just really experimenting, trying something new or doing something different than their own expectations or experiences. For a third line, this can bring up a lot of conditioning about getting it right, not just for yourself, but for others. And I'll lean into this a little bit more when I get into the fifth line in a bit. As you may have noticed, if you listened to episode 137, I forgot to add the beginning and the ending audio for the podcast. And who I was 6 to 12 months ago would have panicked. We'll just be honest. Probably a year ago, I would have panicked and I would have gone back and paused the podcast, deleted it, re-uploaded it with the correct audio, because in my vision, that is wrong. And honestly, it's just another podcast episode. I'm not going to die if something happens to it. So right now, I don't care. And I'm letting it stay as is, because it's going to let someone else who is a third line remind themselves that life is just an experiment. You don't have to fix everything and anything. So once again, this is how a third line would appear when living in alignment with their design. Now, let's get into the fifth line of the liberator. This is how others see me, and I have started seeing myself like this over the last several months. Those of us with a fifth line are seen as the savior, the hero, or even a guru sometimes for other people, because people come to us looking for solutions. And as you can see, this is similar to third lines, but fifth lines embody leadership and authority. So for myself, since this is on my design side, I didn't see this right away. And at times, I didn't see how my life experiences really translated into leadership abilities, but that came out through a variety of areas in my chart. Yet we're just going to be focusing on the fifth line right now. So fifth lines love, 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 love to help people, friends, family, even strangers. We are naturally likable somehow. And people gravitate towards us because they think we can solve their problems. Most of the time, that happens unconsciously. Part of being a fifth line, though, is knowing which problems are ours to solve and which ones are not. We can leak a lot of energy here, and I highly recommend you use your strategy and authority to help you discern which ones are right for you, for your gifts, and for the experiences that you've already had. Now, the fifth line has something very unique to them. They act as a mirror to others. So what does that mean? First, it means that people think they know who you are, but they really don't because they're just seeing themselves within you. I still have close friends and family that say something doesn't look like me, or they wouldn't think I would like X, Y, and Z, when it's really part of my interest or something that I enjoy. So fifth lines have to really lean in to their strategy to move through life in an aligned way. With that being said, as people see themselves within you, this doesn't stop at the things that they enjoy or that they love. Fifth lines show you what you need help within yourself by acting as a mirror. And it's also a projection field. There are so many stories that I can share about this one, and some that are going to come up later on this week. But know this, when a fifth line is in the wrong place, surrounded by the wrong people, and at the wrong time, you can be, quote unquote, the wrong type of mirror. People project their expectations and experiences upon you that are really all about themselves. And if you decide to take on these projections and act upon them either by internalizing them or trying to provide solutions to these people, your reputation will suffer as you will never meet up to their expectations. When this happens over and over and over and over again, you are going to want to hide. You will not want to be seen. You will not want to be heard, as you have become very cautious or even suspicious of other people and their needs. This is why following your design, especially leaning into your strategy, is critical for fifth lines. Because when you're in alignment, following your strategy and your authority, you can make a real difference in those around you, your community, and your world, depending on other areas of your chart. This will lead you into living your signature theme and embracing even more areas of alignment. So here's one of my stories as a fifth line. When I was able to see the projections from others as separate from myself, I was able to see my fifth line as a mirror, and it was something people weren't ready for. These projections are actually reflections of their inner critic. For example, there's someone in my friend or family circle who doesn't care for my value of authenticity. She had mentioned it just gives people, quote unquote, an out to be an asshole. When I've been around this person, they are physically agitated since expressing this opinion. They can barely talk to me or even look at me. Once I'm out of my shadow of the fifth line, not only am I reflecting things she is consciously or unconsciously projecting onto me, I can actually, quote unquote, see where this comes from. Her own lack of connection to her authentic self and her low self-worth. And here's the funny thing, I don't know what her chart looks like at all. I have no idea what even energy type she is, but I can still see right into her. Being able to do this is more than just my fifth line, to be honest. It's a combination of my profile type, undefined open centers, and a few of my gates and my single channel. Once I learned to see these projections as separate from my identity, something softened in me and I stopped making myself responsible for other people's discomfort. I stopped shrinking. I stopped questioning my voice. And instead of absorbing projections, I would finally see the person behind it, their fear, their insecurity, their resistance to growth. When I'm in the shadow of my fifth line, I absorb that projection. I take it on, I internalize it, and it feels like a personal attack. But like I said, when I'm out of the shadow, I really do become this mirror. And her reaction, honestly, does make sense. Not because I'm doing something wrong, but because they're seeing something they don't know how to sit with yet. If you're a fifth line and you have a lot of undefined centers, you might notice this too. The moment you stop absorbing other people's projections is the moment you start seeing the truth behind them, and you start seeing it as a reflection. This is when my whole life felt different. My voice came back. I stopped over-explaining myself. I stopped editing my message. I stopped trying to prevent disappointment. I stopped carrying the emotional weight of other people's reactions. I let people feel whatever the hell they wanted because it has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with them. So fifth lines, your energy is not wrong. Your voice is not wrong. Your presence is not too much. Sometimes your alignment just makes other people aware of the lack of their own alignment. Now that we have that out of the way, what happens when you bring both lines together? Oh, it's fun. When you look at this at a high level, line 3 learns by experimenting, and line 5 is here to offer wisdom from that experience. The 3 gives the 5 the credibility. The 5 gives the 3 a reason to keep learning. Together, a 3-5 learns through life and then guides others through lived wisdom. 3-5s are the subject matter experts in life through the messiness, the messiness, and the beauty of it all. We are beautifully chaotic in the best way possible. We are the ones who try things no one else wants to. We blow up our lives sometimes, but for good reasons. We learn fast and we transform fast. We have insane resilience. We're magnetic because we're real, and we're natural storytellers because our lives are stories. So, if you are a 3-5 profile like myself, there is so much to play with. What would it be like to let yourself be imperfect? What would it be like to speak before you're ready, trusting that the right people will hear it? What would it look like, or even feel like, to detach from other people's expectations and projections? For myself, I will say that if you ever felt like burning it all down to the ground when these projections fall onto you, that's normal. It is normal for a 3-5. Remember, I just said that we blow up our own lives, but usually it's for a good reason. I have burned my life to the ground a few times, and I am so grateful that I did. I quit my college swim team and left a full ride scholarship in the dust because I was tired of being bullied and hazed, only to decide I wanted to swim somewhere else, and it ended up bringing me so much more joy into my life. I divorced my first husband after going to couples therapy by myself because I was tired of being the only one who was willing to go the extra mile to make our relationship work. To only find a man who not only loves me for who I am, but can ebb and flow in our relationship, making it stronger than anything else that I've ever experienced. I've left job after job after job when companies and bosses would not respect my boundaries of working 8 to 5 and left my biggest FU to my boss when she downplayed my achievements for the company and took them as her own to the chief marketing officer. And now I have my own coaching business, leading women back to their most powerful and authentic selves. And I fucking love it. So the moral of this part of the story, 3-5s are never meant to be tidy. We are meant to be real, even if it means burning everything to the ground and starting it over once again. If you are listening and thinking, I want to understand my energy like this, I've created a resource to help you. It's called the Energy in Action Starter Kit, and it guides you through noticing how your energy rises and falls, and even responds throughout the day. It's completely free, and you can find the link in the show notes. And if you still need your human design chart, you can grab that on my website as well. Both pieces really do work well alongside each other during this embodiment series. If all of this is fascinating to you and you're like, I want more, I want you in my chart, there are links in the show notes to explore human design readings and coaching opportunities. So thank you for being here today with me. This one was personal, and I'm honored that you listened. Tomorrow, I am going to discuss one of my gates, and I'm going to go deep into that and gonna get messy with it. So stay tuned, and I hope to have you here tomorrow. Thank you, lady, for joining me on this journey of aligning, embodying, and rising into your most authentic self. Remember, the most important relationship you have is the one you have with yourself. And when you do the inner work, you naturally attract the love and life meant for you. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to rate and review the show. Your feedback not only helps more women discover the power of self-transformation, but also helps us grow this community. If you're ready to go deeper and align with a relationship and life you truly desire, I invite you to explore my coaching services. Together, we'll use human design, NLP techniques, and self-empowerment tools to help you break through old patterns and create a life that resonates with who you truly are. Visit reinventingthearena.com to learn more and take the next steps in your journey of self-discovery and alignment. Until next time, lady, keep aligning, keep embodying, and keep rising. Thanks for listening to Reinventing the Arena.